P&B Sports Show where the passion is high, the analysis is sharp, and the beautiful game takes center stage. I'm Abel Sunday. What a dramatic night it has been in the Wafcon semi-finals. Malawi have stunned Algeria 3-1, producing a commanding performance to book their place in the finals. And in the other semi-finals, Cameroon edged Morocco 3-1 on penalties after a fearless contested encounter, sending the indomitable Lioness into the championship decider. Two semi-finals, two different stories. Malawi triumph, victory, and Cameroon's nerves-wrecking penalty triumph. So what went right for Malawi? Where did Algeria fell short of glory, and how did Morocco manage to hold their nerves against a determined Moroccan side? To break it all down, we're joined from Port Harcourt by the insightful Jackson Caleb. So grab your teacup because P&B Sport start now. No gigments, no distractions, just pure unfiltered sport action.
Diogo Dalot, calls for the that is outstanding!
Make the P&B Sports Show part of your weekday routine.
Philogene in the penalty area, twisting and turning. He tries to flick it towards goal.
Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. Make the P&B Sports Show part of your weekday routine.
Into Osimhen.
30 minutes of breaking headlines, in-depth analysis, match preview, and the stories every sport fan needs to know. And when Saturday arrives, we take things to another level. Get ready for balls of fire every Saturday from 1 to 2 p.m. One explosive hour of fearless opinion, heated debate, and non-stop football conversation. Weekdays at 9 a.m., Saturdays at 1 p.m. Stay ahead of the no gigments, no distractions, just pure. Welcome back, it's P&B Sports Show live from the nation's capital, and I've been joined by Jackson Caleb, the ever insightful Jackson Caleb. Caleb is a wet money here in Abuja. I don't know if it's raining cat and dog in Port Harcourt as well.
Yeah, we decided to join the Malawian celebration, so I think everywhere is showered with blessings, like we said on the show yesterday. Remember, I told you guys that all goes to Malawi, and here we are celebrating the Malawian victory.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, we are celebrating Malawian victory, and I think I promise you I'm going to play that prediction yesterday, but I'm going to do that today. Of course, definitely, we're going to play that prediction. Your video, I think I caught it somewhere. We're going to do that this morning. But Jackson, great to have you on the show as usual, and let's get straight into the action. Yesterday, Malawi 3-1 Algeria. I wanted to ask, the back-to-back red card help or hurt the referee's control of the match yesterday? Coming to look at how they played yesterday against the Algeria. I'm talking about the Malawian side. How can you rate this team?
Well, like I've said before, this Malawian side are a very interesting side to watch. They are a very physical side when you watch their game of football. And then they have also technical players on their side, Ruth Kanzere, Chukwandi, and then of course the Chawinga sisters, who always deliver when it matters the most. So they have a bit of technicality and more of physical players who are ready to run from minute 1 to minute 90. And like we've always said, this Malawian side is, however, not gifted with the ability on the ball. So they have to make up with their physical and energetic presence. So we can see and say definitely that this side is a side that deserves a lot of applause going into yesterday's game. However, I will not fail to credit the Algerian side because they came into the game showing what they are made of and how they desire to play. Their technical ability on the ball, especially with the first 15 minutes. Algeria actually had the flow of the first 15 minutes, and even the commentator said that this is the trademark of the Algerian football. Their 1-2, their quick passes, their instant releases, especially into those key areas. It was just unlucky that Algerians were actually unable to find the early back of the net, although they had some key shots within the first 15 minutes.
Okay, then talking about the Chawinga sisters, they call them, is a Tebuta and Tenwa. I think those are the two sisters. Their partnership currently the most little duo in international football. Looking at the partnership between these two sisters, can you say, have you ever seen such a thing in modern football?
Well, definitely. I think I've seen repetitions of such. As a Chelsea supporter, I've seen Lauren James and Sam Kerr pull up with this kind of movement. In the season when Sam Kerr had about 15 goals, Lauren James had half of the assists, and Sam Kerr also had contributions to Lauren James' goals. So seeing this reminds me of the Sam Kerr and Lauren James relationship. So, but then again, coming to talk about this again goes to show their partnership on and off the pitch. When I saw the starting lineup yesterday, Tabitha was actually the one starting in as the main nine with Chukwuemti as the supporting nine, while Thelma was, initially running the wing. When I saw it, I just said probably this is going to be a distraction because most people already know Thelma to be the striker, to be the instinctive finisher. But however, Thelma decided to, come up more the wing, attempt to dribble and create space. But then again, trying to switch off also puts the centre backs on pressure. But coming to in the Wafcon, I think this is the most deadliest duo we have seen, apart from Barbara Banda and if I'm correct with Kiwinze, I can't really remember her name, but the lady who already has like 3 of her assists to Barbara Banda already in the Wafcon. But apart from those two, I think right now this is the duo we can look up to say, okay, if we need anybody going in front to deliver for us, this is the two that we can look up to.
Okay, that's the two we can look up to. But anybody
going in front to deliver for us, this is the two
to play it today. To know if your prediction is an absolutely correct. You said to play it today. To know if your prediction is an absolutely correct. You said 2-1 or 3-1, and that was what actually happened. When it was 2-1, you texted me. I said, "Shebi, you don't see him." Yesterday. But if the video is ready, please, they can play it for us. Let's see your prediction yesterday against them. Actually, and finally, Jackson, as we try to wrap up, if you had to stick your neck out right now, who reaches the Wafcon finals, Malawi or Algeria? And what is your scoreline prediction?
Oh, I think we just got that prediction of World Cup.
And you know this. I'm going to bring this video back. Yes, tomorrow I'll talk about it because this game will play today. Tomorrow I'm going to talk about it. But bringing this video back.
Yeah. If I was to stick my neck out for anybody, I'm definitely going Malawi. I definitely go Malawi. I just think an incredible side to watch, honestly. And I think, honestly, I'm not supporting them because of any bias or anything, but I think they are an interesting side to watch. So I would be actually happy if they make it through to the final round because it be a lot of history and it be a lot of joy actually to most of the more African side. So yeah, I'll see Malawi. And
during these games. But let's dive into it, Caleb. Defensive weaknesses. Can Malawi win the finals without having kept a single clean sheet? Said that they are very compact and very disciplined. Of course, they concede fewer goals than the Malawians. But looking at Cameroon and Malawi in the finals, do you think Malawi can hold their own when it really matters?
I think this is where the consideration really comes in because while I was watching the game, actually, I felt angry at the goal that Algeria had scored. But then again, just to relieve my prophecy, I was celebrating at the goal at least. But looking at the goal that they considered, it was a bit too cranky. It had a bit of loudness in it. It showed they slept off for like a minute or so. And that's something that you don't do, especially when a team is trying to come back. In the second half, we saw Algeria trying to, put more pressure, trying to get something out of this match. But now, seeing that they are mounting more pressure on you, how well can you solidify your defense? Remember, one of the ways that Malawi was also able to outsmart this Algeria was that in the first half, we saw them having mix-up between either 3 at the back or 4 at the back, and Malawi always caught them off guard, which also shows that this Algerian side slept. So it now lies on you that you are not supposed to sleep at any point of the game. Shows that you have to keep your head and eyes all open. Because now it's fullback, in fact, the defense line in general, can they be so alert and aware so as to avoid any form of conceding or any mistake that could lead to a penalty or something that could cause scare and make them to panic to, play that final?
If you ask me, Jackson, my opinion, I will tell you that Cameroon have one of the best defense in this tournament, because consider the fact that they are always compact behind there. If they don't score, you can't score them. Look at what happened yesterday against Morocco. I know we're going to get that. We're going to get there too. But looking at them remain very compact behind. And a Malawian side that give every goal they've considered, I beg your pardon, every single game that they've played, though they come out to outscore those people. But looking at the finals, I think it's going to be a very interesting one. Looking at one of the best defense against one of the best attack. I think that's how we're going to look at it. But talking about Algeria, like you rightly said, do they push forward too early for an equalizer that exposing themselves to the killer third goal? Do you think they push so much or early for the equalizer? They would have remained the way they are, remain very disciplined to see how they could maybe somehow get.
Okay, if it was in the first half, I would have said yes, because I expected them to try and sit back in that first half. They were already a man down. So the least that they could have done was to at least arrange themselves and hold on to the 1-0 lead, to the end of halftime. But like I said before, they were caught in 60s and 70s, which means that sometimes they were either trying to at least arrange themselves and hold on to the 1-0 lead, to the end of halftime. But like I said before, they were caught in 60s and 70s, which means that sometimes they were either trying to play three at the back, or sometimes, the right winger was always coming back, or one midfielder is always dropping back, which also caused some, disharmony in the way they set up and even with the way they linked up with each other. And that was the advantage that Malawi had over this Algerian side. But saying that they pushed too early in the second half, I don't think they pushed too early in the second half, because they were 10-10, they were equal. So yes, they had every right and every confidence, to push up their gear in the second half. And I mean, second half is the most intense part of the game, because the first half, some teams get to awaken themselves from like the 20th minute and on in the game. But the second half, everybody is geared up. Even the substitutes are coming in to make impact. So that is where you even expect Algeria to push more. However, I would say that the number 6 for Algeria, Bibi, was my most impressive player for the Algerian side. Her passes were incisive, her touches were very clean, even her connections on the ball were very specific. Like, the way she wanted the ball to go was how the ball went. Although, I still have to give credit again to this Malawi side, because they made 2 goal line clearances. And you can imagine the score line if those 2 goal line clearances did not come. It would have resulted to a 3-3 draw. But then again, the Malawians also stood against the force of the Algeria, making crosses. The Algerians had more corners in the second half. They even had more shots in the second half, putting the Malawi side on so much pressure. But again, the Malawi side never gives up and always keep pressing. But just like you said, I do not agree that it was too early. It is, even as a coach, I would have actually advised them that, okay, now that we are 10-10, how best can we play? Can we take out one attacker and bring in one extra midfielder so as to, just get the game a little bit of gel and solidity? That's what I would have tried to do, bring up an attacking instinct, or make them anything to even push forward. That's what I would have rightly advised.
Yeah, it did. But what is story for the Malawians? Like, this is their first ever Wafcon tournament. They are debutants in this championship, and of course, they've gone all the way to the finals. Not only getting to the finals, if you look at their story right from the first game, they met the 10th-time champion, which is the Super Falcons, and they beat each other 3-2. And of course, that gave them the momentum, and they started pushing from there. And they said, "Hey, girls, I think we can do this." And of course, now they're staring at the Wafcon title right in their faces, because probably a win now will make them champion of Wafcon, and this is their first time they're participating. I think what is story actually for the Malawians. But it's time for us to go on a short break. When we come back, of course, we'll be talking about Morocco and Cameroon. What transpires? Morocco is out again from the Wafcon, and this time They did not get to the finals. They've hosted back to back. I think this is the third time they are hosting, and they've got to the finals for the 2 editions that they hosted prior to this one. But this time around, hey, Morocco said they are here, and they are here to create record. Let's go on a short break. When we come back, the insightful Justin Caleb is here to give us all his analysis. Don't go anywhere. No gigments, no distraction, just pure unfiltered sport action.
Diogo Dallo, he calls for the then ring. That is outstanding.
Make the P&B Sports Show part of your weekday routine.
Philogene in the penalty area, twisting and turning. He tries to flick it towards goal.
Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. Make the P&B Sports Show part of your weekday routine.
Into Osimhen.
30 minutes of breaking headlines, in-depth analysis, match preview, and the stories every sport fan needs to know. And when Saturday arrives, we take things to another level. Get ready for Balls of Fire every Saturday from 1 to 2 p.m. One explosive hour of fearless opinion, heated debate, and non-stop football conversation. Weekdays at 9 a.m., Saturdays at 1 p.m. Stay ahead of the game. No gigment. Welcome back. It's P&B Sports Show reaching live from the nation's capital. Caleb, what a night yesterday. And I know you're able calling me. I think that was night 11:30 to 12. What a night. Morocco out against all odds, but all credit to what? To Bihana. I think it's Bihana that is her name. All credit to the goalkeeper of the Cameroonians. She stopped 4 penalties yesterday. And with the 180th minute penalty, Caleb, from your own assessment, will you give that as a penalty?
Okay, before I answer this question, permit me to drag us back to the Algerian and Malawi game. I think there was a question about the red cards, which I didn't give an answer to. So I'll just answer in 1 minute. Looking at the Algerian penalty, I felt the Algerian red card, I was not convinced that it was a red card, although it was a challenge from the back. There was not a forceful contact on Tema Chawinga as she was progressing with the ball, but the red card of what do you call it, the Malawi red, even the Malawi red card was a red card, but for the fact that it had gone to the VAR, the intent and the proximity of the force that was used should have been measured. And for me, the Malawi red card was actually a balance in equity. Since the Algerian red card was given out of, one of the strict rules and unfair play, the same had to be done to Malawi, because that was how the red cards were strictly reviewed and a lot of things were considered. Although for me, those 2 red cards should have been yellow cards and should have stood firmly as yellow, given the context of the game as semi-finals. But whatever, we always have to pay respect and abide by the decisions of the referees going in the game. Now, to the game of the night, the Morocco versus the Cameroon. That penalty, I would clearly say for me, should not have been given. Because if you watch the play, how the game sequenced, the Cameroonian player got the ball and obviously was in motion. She had no idea that the player was behind her.
Exactly.
And there is definitely no way that you are running. There is definitely no way that you are running that you do not swing your arm, except you are a robot. And I expected that should have been what should have been considered into play. If the Cameroon player had information about the player behind her. But sadly, that was not the case. I was very furious when I was given as a penalty, because if you could watch the way the arm was swung, it didn't go directly to the face. It even came off, like from the body going up, which you can see and say, oh, that means there is the hand. The hand was moving as a result of the player emotion, which was what I expected the VAR to abide by. But I mean, football always has twist. You can never cheat the goals of the game. You always have to be vindication. And that way that she just saves that penalty. And she actually stood up firm. And then going into the penalty shootout, I was actually convinced that okay, maybe this is the time that Morocco will do their magic, because Morocco actually has the 100% record when it goes to penalty shootout. I think they've hardly lost a penalty shootout in the Wafcon But yesterday we saw a different take, and then we saw a different keeper coming into the tournament of her life.
Indeed, tournament of her heart. Behana's legacy yesterday was absolute superb. Looking at saving 4 penalties, and to start the whole conversation, she saved 4, like I rightly said earlier. She saved 4 penalties, and I think this is the performance that I don't think any goalkeeper in Wafcon has ever given. 4 penalties in a game, she saved them and to the finals. What a performance! And again, I want you to now critique Chiamaka's performance. If not for Chiamaka, to be honest, and I think I'm very look at that free kick for Christ's sake. If you look at it very well, she was that free kick for Christ's sake. If you look at it very well, she was even where she put her wall. Why don't you go when you place your wall? I think you're supposed to go when you place your wall. I think you're supposed to go to the other side to cover it, isn't it? But she was even closer to the wall and leaving the other space, and the girl just blasted the shot in. Before she could get there, of course, the ball was in already. In fact, she was very poor, and I think I think probably maybe the past glory is getting into her head, and she's not. Let me not be emotional about this. Let's go back to Bernard. Let me not blow the proportion. But looking at that performance yesterday, 7-4, as any Wafcon goalkeeper perform this, keep this performance so far.
Definitely, I do not think that any goalkeeper has given such a level of performance. Yesterday night, I saw the whole internet buzzing around Mikel Bihani. I was really shocked, and I had to go check the history books, and I found out that she's also made history for herself. Winning back-to-back man of the match.
Man of the match, yeah.
I think even with the 2022, 2023 Wafcon, the Moroccan goalkeeper also had man of the matches, saving penalties, but not up to 4. So that again is she deserves that golden boot, because the performances that she put in against Nigeria and against Nigeria and against this Morocco side. Imagine the 2 sides who have stood and cemented themselves as one of the best teams in Wafcon, and then you say, okay, I'm going to go against the 2 nations and produce a tournament and a performance that the Wafcon will never forget about. What a way to cement your name. And I think that's something that we remember her for.
Of course, that's something we are going to remember her for. I will not ask you to predict today, because we're going to do a pre-match analysis on Saturday on the finals. So I will just leave you to have your breather and, of course, consult your goals so that you can come out with the right predictions on Saturday. But what is semi-finals? We have witnessed Malawi impressive 3-1 victory over Algeria, and Cameroon